Good morning, everyone. Let me see if I can get myself up onto my iPad so that I make sure that I stay into screen. All right. Once we start getting people in, I will start moving right on along. Good morning, Kathy. Uh-oh, I think I just got rid of my comments. There we go. All right, it looks like people are starting to come in. There is Verna. So this is the first card we're going to make right here, and this is using the Buffalo Check stamp set as well as the gift wrapped stamp set. And I did want to show you an alternative. If you don't have the Buffalo Check, I think most people have probably ordered the plaid tidings DSP. I'm on like my 4th pack of it. So there's this pattern in that pack of paper, and this is a good background to replace the Buffalo Check with. So if you don't have the Buffalo Check, then you can use this. If you don't have that, then obviously you can just use Whisper White paper, or you could do a solid black or a solid color that would coordinate with the red. So, looks familiar. What looks familiar? What looks familiar, Kathy? Everything looks familiar to me now. I think I've played with everything so much lately. It's all starting to run together lately, I guess, for me. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Today, Ben and I actually have our trunk or treat at church. So he's hollering in the background. So we have to still decorate the car. And of course, yesterday in my mad rush to get home because it was a really long week, I forgot to stop by Hobby Lobby and get the rest of this stuff. So he's going to do that now. Oh, I think he's going to Target, not Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure he would go to Hobby Lobby without me. But anyway. My Christmas cards are just like this. Oh, really, Kathy? Oh, so this is, you actually, for this card, just FYI, you were an inspiration as well as, Dina Rico. So I took, I think you posted something, and so I, saw that and then something she made and kind of went with it. So yeah, you were actually an inspiration for this one. So anyway, all right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our pack. Now, all of you have lots of different punched out bows. I wasn't sure if everybody would have the stamp set or not. So just to be on the safe side, I punched out using the bow, just the bow itself. I gave you the white, plain white. I gave you red foil, and I also did the red felt, the red felt, not the red felt, the red, I just drew a blank on it. Velvet, the red velvet paper. So you have lots of different options that you can use in order to create your bow. All right, so the first thing that you're going to have in your, I have some buzz going on there. So you're going to have 2 strips. This is for your sentiment. Then you're going to have your strips for your pieces right here. Then you're also going to have 2 pieces that you're going to do your buffalo check on. And then you've got your 2 envelopes and then your card bases. So the first thing we're going to start out with on this one is we're going to go ahead and stamp the buffalo check pattern. And I'm going to actually turn this way just to make it a little easier for me. And I may even have to stand up. Okay, so I'm going to line my piece of paper up on my Stamparatus. I'm going to actually line it up right here in this corner. And sometimes you can actually, especially with the buffalo check, the first time you stamp it, it's not going to stamp 100%. So I always have to ink it back up. One trick you can do is to line washi tape up right here along that line, and then also on the top line, and it'll let you put your card kind of right back in when you're stamping on the exact size that you need. Because if you put a magnet down, then it's not going to stamp in like a big, large area. So we're going to just go with it without the washi tape today because I had to get a new piece of paper when I started working on this one. So I haven't put washi tape back down. Another trick with your Stamparatus is to put a stamp pad, a stamp set up underneath your arm there so that it's easier to press down on. And it does take, with the black memento, it does take quite a bit of inking up. So, all right, I'm gonna stand up really quick so that I can press down really good. All right. Oh, and it actually stayed where it was supposed to. Okay, so we're going to ink it up one more time. Although I'm moving that now. All right. Another ink you could use is the StazOn ink. It would make it probably more, you wouldn't have as much lines in there like that, but the StazOn really does stain your stamps really bad, and so I avoid using StazOn unless I have to. I'd rather ink up a million times to make it work, but all right, so let's do this one. Sometimes you got to give it a good press. Oh no, Florence. I know, there's so many different pages for us now, isn't there? All right, so it seems like this section right here doesn't want to ink up. So let's press down really hard. Okay, so I'm good with this. It's not perfect, but I'm fine with it, and it does look like I moved it a little bit, but that's okay as well. I'm going to actually set that aside to dry. I am not going to do the other one. I am actually going to use this pattern out of the plaid tidings, just so you can see what that looks like as well. All right, so let me move this so I don't get ink everywhere. And while I've got the black memento out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiments just so we are good there. All right, and so this sentiment is the one that says a very Merry Christmas right out of that gift wrapped set. So we're just going to ink it up in the black memento. And then we're going to stamp down. And it doesn't, I gave everybody a little extra in the length, so you've got plenty of room to put it wherever you want to. We're going to go ahead and stamp both of them. just like that. All right, we'll set those aside so I don't get ink all over them. Okay, so for my bows, I'm gonna stamp in Real Red. And I didn't grab myself any scrap paper, so let me grab one right here. I started cutting up a whole bunch of different sizes and putting them next to here since I keep forgetting some scrap paper for myself. Okay, because I didn't punch it out for me since I will be stamping it here. All right, so we're gonna stamp down there. Good morning, Joyce. How are you doing? Oops, I got too far down on that one, so let's turn that and stamp that up a little higher. Okay, now what I did for mine was I actually took a Stampin' Right marker. I took the Real Red and I colored it in. I'm going to go ahead and punch these out, and then I'm going to let the red kind of settle a little bit because we all know how red ink is. And then once we're getting ready to put it on, I will color it in with the Stampin' Right marker then. All right, so I'm going to punch that out. And you'll notice you're going to have, which not in your packets, you don't have these extra pieces, but if you have this set, you have some extra pieces that are in here. And let me just punch a whole one so you can kind of see. So the stamp set is called Gift Wrapped. So you have your bow, and then you have a little tag that you can actually put on it, and you could use the Label Me Fancy punch and punch a little hole right here in the top because it's a really tiny one on the Label Me Fancy punch. So you could put a little hole on there and then put some like linen thread, and that would be your little tag that would say like to or from. There's not, which I found this weird, there's not any sentiments that will actually fit on there. But that to me would be a little tag. So I guess you would just put your little image, you could put like a little image on there if you wanted to. I don't know. Anyway, and then this little white piece right here, that is actually to make a layer on top of your bow. So you would like wrap it, kind of like wrap your ribbon around. So you could do that with that. So that's what those pieces are, just in case you get this, set. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, oh, I got to punch out the other one, don't I? And I messed it up. By punching that big one. So let's grab another piece and let's ink again. All right. Now we'll punch this one out. And be careful when you're going to punch and you've stamped in Real Red, you could smear the ink if you touch it and rub the, the punch over it. So just be careful with your red ink. The same goes for the black memento. It does take it a minute to dry. Okay, while I actually have out the stamp, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my envelopes so that those match. We're just going to do all the stamping up front. All right, so there's my first envelope. And there's different ribbons that you can do. I think this is my favorite one, which is why I picked this one. So I'm going to just stamp that right there. And I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to stamp this one. All right, and then we'll set that one aside. Okay, so that should be all of our stamping. So now what we're gonna do, this is actually a pretty simple card to make. It's, you know, just some cutting and a little bit of stamping. And if you use the DSP, it's even quicker. So, so you could actually mass produce these cards for Christmas if you wanted to. And I'm sure Kathy probably did a whole bunch of cards for her Christmas cards. So she probably, it probably didn't take her very, very long. Good morning, Carol. How are you doing? I haven't seen you and Joyce in a really long time. Joyce and looking at you on our way to Columbia, Jerry driving. Oh, that's so sweet. We'll tell Jerry I said hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and put on our background, our buffalo check there. That is a little bit of a hot mess, but it's okay. It'll start getting covered up once the strips get put on. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's put the strips on first. That's probably a smart idea, Amy. Okay. So we're going to take our first strip, and it doesn't really matter which one you put down first. I'm going to put the long one down. So we're just going to adhere it straight across there. So we're going to take some Stampin' Seal Plus, because if we do the Stampin' Seal Plus, then it's really strong, and with your lots of ink on this piece of paper, it'll make it stay a little bit better. I will say I'm a huge Stampin' Seal Plus fan versus just the regular Stampin' Seal. I think the Plus stays a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna line it up here, and we're actually lining it right up with the buffalo check pattern. All right, so there is that one. And then we're gonna put this one right about here. So we will put adhesive on the back as I get it on the card. Oh. Okay, I got a little bit over on the edge here, so I'm just gonna fold it just like that. And then we're going to go right along this line here with our buffalo check. So now you've got it just like that. So there is your ribbon on your present. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and pop that piece up. We're going to cut off that little edge right there. Wasn't much, but it will eventually bother me, I'm sure. We all know I can be a little special about that. All right, so let's put our dimensionals up. And two more. All right, so we're going to take off our backs and I'm going to grab my trash bucket. All right. Okay, so now we're going to line this up just on our card base, and it is going to go right there. All right, that looks good. Okay, let me grab my cutter really quick. I did forget that because I want to cut that piece of DSP. Okay, so we are going to cut at 4 that way, and then we are going to do 5 1/4 this way. Okay, and then you've got these strips here, and you could actually get you could do your strips to do across and do like a red solid background, and then put these as your strips of the red cardstock like we have there. So you could do some multiple uses when you cut this paper down. Okay, so let's put our strips on there, our red strips. Let's grab the long one. All right, and we're going to line it up with that line right there, maybe. Okay, and then let's do our short strip. All right, we're gonna line this one up right here. Okay, and then we'll trim off a little bit on that one. Perfect. All right. Let me put those up so I don't stab myself with them. All right. So now we're going to, I might have sliced a little bit, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to put dimensionals on the back here. And with it being DSP, I'm going to add a little extra of the dimensionals because it's a little thinner than your regular cardstock is. So I need to give it just a touch more support. So I'm going to put one there, and then there, and there. There will be no falling, no sagging whatsoever. All right. That one doesn't want to come off. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna line this one up and stick it on our card base. And there we go. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to take our bows and we're gonna color them in with the Stampin' Right marker. You could also do the blends, but with it being completely colored in with the marker, I really did like, there's a little bit darker and lighter spots, you know, because you've got the lines and stuff that are created with the markers. So I actually liked using the marker better for this one. We're just going to color it in. Probably should have done one off camera, but that's okay. Yes, Deb, this is a very quick and easy card. I was talking to Amy McCain, and I told her that I was not interested in this set at all. I was not getting it. I was not going to break down and get it. Well, here we go. I broke down and got it because, of course, I saw several packages cards made with it, and I fell for it. And then I've actually really fallen in love with this set because it really is. It's quick and simple and easy for a Christmas card, or you could do a birthday with it. I mean, this one is actually very versatile, and I really didn't think it would be. I'm not the biggest fan of the bow patterns, but you know, you can color it in and make it look different if you wanted to. Yeah, this one was kind of like the gnome set for me. And we all know how that turned out. My plan for all of you, just to know this, is that we will probably be using the gnome set for our Dulcie class at the end of November. And I'll give you the date. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all the date of that. It will be the next to last Saturday. So the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And what we're actually going to do is we've got our Stampin' Chicks workshop that morning. So you guys are going to get two in the same day. I'm going to do the Stampin' Chicks workshop first at 10 o'clock. And honestly have no idea what we're going to do for that yet. I have started trying to play around with some stuff. We might use the curvy set, but I haven't decided yet. Anyway, so we're going to do that one in the morning, and then at 1 we're going to do the Dulcie class. So I wanted to do that since we won't be doing, technically for the Stampin' Chicks, we won't be doing the Christmas party. I wanted to make sure that at least we're stamping and crafting together. So yay. But to make the bow really pop, I use Wink of Stella over it. Absolutely, Kathy, absolutely. I'm a huge Wink of Stella fan too. I did with the Wink of Stella, one thing when you're with your more saturated colors like your reds, your greens, that kind of stuff, make sure that it dries really well before you do the Wink of Stella. Otherwise, lots of projects after it will be that color. I'm very familiar with that. So we're going to attach these here just like this. And I think on my sample card, I didn't pop it up, but I think I'm going to pop up at least one. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to veer off a little bit. But anyway, back to the Stampin' Chicks and the Dulcie workshop. We are, I'm pretty sure we're going to use the gnome set for the Dulcie class, which I know there's several people like Verna that doesn't have that set, but you can use it. You can pick some other critter or image to replace the gnomes. And you ladies are always so creative anyway with switching up the cards. So I would love to see what you come up with instead of the gnome. But I have an idea for it already. So yay. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to take and put our sentiment here. But we need to chop off that long edge right there. Let me grab my non-ribbon scissors. We're going to chop it probably right about there to start off with. We're going to slide it up underneath and see if it fits there. And it's showing just a little bit over here. So I'm just going to trim that edge right there. And then I'm perfect with that. Okay, so now I'm going to flag the end down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight up. And then I'm going to do a little flag on the end. If you have the triple banner punch, you can use that. Or if you have the tailored tag punch, you can use that one to do your flag on your end. And if you have the new one that has the little ones, you can do that as well. Don't ask me what it is. I can't even think of the name of it right now. It'll come to me just as soon as I hang up. So now what I want to do is I'm going to slide that up underneath there. And I think I'm going to pop up this too, just to give it some dimension. I'm sure you ladies know which one I'm talking about. The new one that's in the holiday catalog that matches the one that's in the annual catalog. It has the two different ends that you can make all in the same punch, which I love it. I use them a lot, but anyway. All right, so we're going to slide this up underneath and then lay it down there. And I do like that. I actually really like that popped up instead of flat. Now, with this card, one other thing you can add, and I didn't do it because I was trying to make it pretty simple since the next card's a little bit more in depth, is you could add the basic, the red rhinestones to it, and it would make some things pop as well. So you could put one on the sentiment as well. So, but I love it with this plaid tidings paper. All right, so we're going to pop this one up too since I liked it. So put two big dimensionals there, and we will put mini dimensionals here. And then we will attach it there, and then we'll grab our sentiment, cut off one end, and then put that right about there. I think that'll work. Let me just chop off that end. Perfect, okay. And then we're gonna cut up just like that and then do our banner. And that did not get that even, so let's try to get that even and then do our banner. I need to get my scissors cleaned. They are, they're a little sticky, which is why I'm struggling with that banner. Okay, so put dimensionals on here. Take off our backs and we will put right there. Okay, so that is our card. You could even on the inside, if you wanted, you could stamp a bow just to kind of add to that as well. But there is our sample, and then there's our 2 that we made today, and then there's our envelope. So yay, that turned out really good. I really like it with that pattern. Might give me an excuse to buy more, right? Don't forget, if you haven't ordered paper, your paper sale ends today. So, I might have bought a couple more packs of the plaid tidings paper. So I can hoard it for later on. Thank you. Hey, Sharon, how do you put your bows together? Okay, so I gave you lots of different versions of the bows. So if you don't have the actual stamp set itself, then you can color it in using a marker to make it a solid color. Or you can, if you have the stamp set, you can try to line it up and stamp it. But I did put just the extra little red pieces in there, so you don't even have to stamp if you don't have the stamp set. You can just put it down. And I put this one flat, just using Stampin' Seal Plus. And then this I actually just put with the dimensionals. So that one's popped up with dimensionals. So, and then these right here are just your strips of paper that they just line straight up across the page. And then the bow is a single thing. So, all right. And Sharon, you can look, well, you should be on the email for the project sheet. So if you didn't get it, let me know and I'll email it to you. Cause I know, one person couldn't open it last night. And so I tried to resend it. So I hope all that works now. Sometimes Gmail and PDFs don't like each other. So, but check out the PDF, Sharon, and I think it went to your AOL account. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. And I'm going to put everything up underneath my little cubby right there. Oops, that was loud, sorry. All right, let's leave those stamps out because I got to clean them. And, all right, I'm going to come up underneath my camera real quick to grab the other basket. Okay. So, let's now do our next one, which I really like this card a lot. This is another, I tried to do some easy cards just because I know not everybody has the strips. Ooh, yeah, they would. They would. Deb, they definitely would. This is another easy card. I tried to really do just some, we're getting closer to Christmas, and I know now is when everything kind of starts getting crazy for family time. There's just a million things to do when it comes to getting ready for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas. So I tried to do some simple, basic cards that anybody could do with any supplies that they have. And this one right here, I did heat emboss just because of the background of the paper. I wanted it to stand out a little bit more, but you don't have to do that. If you don't even have this designer series paper, use whatever paper you have. Or the paper's on sale right now, you might as well get it, right? And I don't think this one's actually one that's on sale. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think this one is, but there's plenty of Christmas paper that is. So, you could do literally the poinsettia set, and that would be gorgeous. You could use the poinsettia background and then just do a punch and stamp on it, you know, using a Whisper white paper instead with maybe a garden green or a shaded spruce, and it would be gorgeous. So, simple card, doesn't take long. Let's get started. Well, of course, I did make it a little bit more complicated with the heat emboss, but it's still quick and simple with the heat emboss. Okay, so in your packet, you have your card base, which is the thick Whisper white, just like the first one. So we'll go ahead and line it up, grab my bone folder, and good morning, Amanda. How are you? A huge shout out to Amanda for letting us use her garage again was it last weekend? Oh, my Saturdays are all running together. Last weekend for the tag, Christmas tag card class. Well, tag/card class. And if you haven't, go on to Simply Elizabeth Crafts group. So I have two separate pages. There's a business page, which is just Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and then there's the group where anybody can post. But go check out Florence's cards, because she did a phenomenal job with her cards. She took the tag kit, the tag buffet kit, and made all cards with it. So go check out her projects because they're really pretty. So anyway, all right, let's grab our other two pieces. So this is going to be your next layer. Not that. This is. You're going to have two Night of Navy pieces. And my fingers are not picking it up. It is really cold here today. The house is freezing. And Ben's like, we're going to turn on the heat. So we probably should turn on the heat because it is getting cold. I'm even wrapped up and that's kind of bad. But my fingers are freezing at the moment. So I'm having a hard time picking up the paper. Okay, so then this is the DSP. So everybody's is a little different. So this is the pack of paper. This, I actually bought another pack because I've done several classes using this paper. But if you haven't seen this paper, this is the Feels Like Frost. It was in the catalog last year and they brought it back this year. But this is, y'all can see my hot mess with it. These are all my scraps. So this is the paper. One side is the silver embossed side, and then the other side is a wintry picture. These are actual pictures that Stampin' Up! Art design team, I guess is what they are. And they actually took pictures, and that's what this paper is. And the pictures are just, they're amazing. I don't ever want to live in a place where it snows. I love snow, but I love snow from a distance. And this is actually one of my favorite ones here. So looking at this paper, and that's my other favorite one. It makes me love the view, but I don't want to be in it. Not at all. Give me South Carolina snow where you get it for about an hour and then it's all gone. So anyway, this paper is amazing. And the opposite side, of course, has the silver embossed, which is really pretty. So and it comes with a lot of patterns, and the pack is pretty thick. There's some extra in here, but anyway, this is the paper. And the one beautiful thing about this paper is it literally makes a card by itself. You could do nothing, but you could even just add a sentiment up there in Night of Navy and your card would be done. That's how amazing this paper is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adhere all the pieces together. And all we're going to do is use Stampin' Seal, and we're going to make it all flat. We're not going to pop anything up right now. Yes, Verna. Oh, I could just, this and the plaid tidings. Last year, I think I used 3 packs during card classes and stuff of the Feels Like Frost. Ooh. Okay, so this is one thing about the Stampin' Seal Plus that you have to be careful about, is if your paper, okay, we might have to use the other one. If your paper has like the embossed stuff on it, it will, because it is strong, it likes to pull it up. So just be careful with that. So we're going to use just the regular seal. Basically, it's too strong sometimes for your more delicate paper. Okay, let's attach this to our Night of Navy. And then let's do our other one. Gonna make sure it stays. All right. Put that down. And then we're going to adhere it. Oh, now I have stickies all over me. Hold on. Now we're gonna take and let me see if I can get this to work, because I really don't want the DSP to be. Let me grab another one. I will have to fix that when we get off. Okay. Now we're going to adhere it to the card base. There we go. Gotta get it rolling. All right, so we're going to attach this down. And you're going to have just a very, very tiny border all the way around, because you really want your DSP to be the center of it all. So that's why you just have a very small white border and then a very small Night of Navy border. All right, and then we're going to attach this one. Nope. All right, that one is stuck. We're good. All right, that's fine. It's a little crooked, but it won't matter once you put on your sentiment. Goodness gracious. This card just started going downhill, didn't it? All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set these aside so I don't get them messed up. We're not going to stamp the envelopes since the sentiment is heat embossed. We're just going to leave it plain, not do anything with it. All right. We're going to take our Whisper White craft ink. That's what we're going to actually stamp instead of using the Versamark. We're going to go ahead and pull out the ribbon. And one thing with your craft ink is you do want to make sure that you are stamping your sentiment down and then immediately putting it into your white embossing powder. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up just so that it is down in front of me. Okay. And I'm going to grab a block. And we're going to do, I really like the Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Let's do, though, I'm trying to think if I want to do a different one. I like the Glory to the Newborn King, but I know on one of them I really need a big image. So let's go ahead and do Hark the Herald. We'll do that one. And I absolutely love this set. Of course, this one, and honestly, I haven't even used the other one, but the one with the Mary and Joseph, and I just drew a blank on the name of it, but That's actually the stamp set that I'm using for our church's Christmas cards this year. So I'm super excited about that. And then of course this one. I always go for the Christian ones. Because of course those are my favorite. Okay, I didn't grab my embossing buddy, but let me see. I think I've got it next to me. Yeah, I do. We're gonna put that down just because my fingers have been all over the paper. So make sure you use your embossing buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and put it the whole way across so that I've got it completely covered for both sentiments. All right, so ink up, and then we're going to stamp down. All right, and then we're going to put into our embossing powder. Maybe. Let's see if I can do it. Let me grab my spoon. All right, there we go. Better. And then I'm just going to knock off the excess. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my other one before I heat emboss, okay? So, the other one I'm going to do as, let's see. Let's do, I think I am going to do For Unto Us a Child is Born. So, I am going to use the same ones from the sample. All right, so we're going to grab a block and we're going to ink up. And then I'm going to stamp this one like this, right here. Look, no, it's the only thing I don't like about crafting. Okay. That will be a negative. So, let me grab another piece of Night of Navy. I might not have a... Sorry, I have to stretch. Whew. I had to move my cart with my cut and emboss machine, and it's right there where the paper is. So, all right, so let's go ahead and use our embossing buddy, and we're gonna try this again. I don't need to stamp down so hard. But Whisper White, it doesn't matter what you do, it just gets everywhere. All right. Let's lightly, bam, okay. And then quickly we're gonna put it into our powder. Just so y'all know this, as soon as we are done, I will be like dusting the entire table. Because it seems like the embossing powder is like glitter, it gets everywhere. But it's so pretty. Okay, so now we have both of those. I'm going to close up my embossing powder because we do not want it to go everywhere. That would be my worst nightmare. And now we're going to grab our heat gun. And I'm going to take it off just so it's not so loud. I'm going to move it back from the video. And actually, I'm going to let it get it warm for a second. right, so there's the first one. And then let's do the second one, and I'll do this one under so you can see it. All right, it's almost there. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, we're going to take punches and we're going to punch out the sentiment. And I believe I put two, either one or two of each one in there for you in your packet, just so you can make the decision of what to put on there. So we're just going to line it up in here. And you'll notice that a little bit of your hoopty H and your hoopty G are going to be cut off, but that's not the end of the world. You're not cutting off or punching off enough that it's really going to make a difference. So, so there we go. There's that one. And then we're going to do the everyday label for the For Unto Us. If it'll go in. All right. Make sure it's straight. Punch it down, and voila, there we go. All right, I'm gonna move the stamps out of the way so I don't get them all over me. And, oh, Florence, you have 2 packs too? Yeah. I had even some left over from last year, and I, could have technically sold them, but I did not because, well, I loved it too much. And I did even use it on projects after the catalog had gone away last year. So, okay. So we're going to take our card base and we're going to get our ribbon. And we're going to kind of do some diagonals. So what I'm going to actually do first is I'm going to line it up here with my sentiment itself and do a little zigzag just like this. Okay, so now I know I've got enough, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, nope, we're going to put it on this one, I think. Yeah. We're going to take our Stampin' Seal Plus, and we're just going to run it right there, and we're going to put our ribbon down in that zigzag pattern. And you might have to add just a little bit more adhesive at the end if you didn't get it quite on there, but there we go. And actually, I'm going to take that up. We're going to do it a little bit more diagonal, like that. That's how I want it. Okay, better. We're going to take dimensionals, put them on the back. We're going to do 4, so it can kind of also help to keep that ribbon down. We're going to place this right over the top just like that. And then we're going to trim using our ribbon cutters. We're going to trim this end at an angle, just like that. And then we're going to cut this one at an angle. Well, that was a really big angle. There we go. Just like that. And then I did, of course, get this a little crooked, so we're going to adjust it. Okay, so that's the first one. So let's do the same thing with the second one. And this one, we're going to put it over here. So we're going to, again, we're going to take our ribbon. We're going to actually trim off where I just messed it all up. Okay. We're going to do a zigzag pattern. Just like that. We're going to take it off and put some adhesive right there. And by doing that underneath the sentiment, it allows you to just know how much of that ribbon you're really going to need. It helps you to make sure that it's not too short on one side or, you know, really long on the other. This one I'm going to actually pull down just a hair because I want my tails on this one to be a little bit longer. So, all right, so that's perfect. So we're going to put dimensionals on the back. Again, we're going to do 4 because we want to make sure that it helps to hold that ribbon down as well. But you're also wanting to make sure that you're on the paper itself. So, because otherwise the ribbon will just come right on off. And it'll take your sentiment with it. All right, so then we're going to lay that down right there. I'm good with this side. So now all we need to do is trim this one. And I want it to be a little bit longer than my loop right there. Just like that. Okay, so that's it. That is the second card. See, and that one doesn't take long at all either. All right, so there's the 4. I did 4. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions? And let me pull in the last ones. Let's see. I put them up underneath here so I wouldn't lose them. All right, so there's those. Let's do that. And then let me move. Oh, I know what I forgot to put on those. Hold on. We'll put those there. And then that was my sample. We forgot to put on the rhinestones. So everybody has a long piece of the rhinestones like this. And we're going to take your pick tool and we're going to place a bunch of them on. And you should have enough to put lots on there. So it gives it some good sparkle. Let's do one more. We're going to put, let's do it there. Okay. And then let me add it to this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so got to do the odd numbers, which would irritate my husband to no end. He would make it have to be even. Just like he does the car radio. If we're listening to the radio, the volume has to be on an even number. My husband might be a little on the crazy side, but we love him for it. Anytime I turn up the radio, if it is not on an even number, he gets a little crazy. So, all right, I think I'm all in there with the picture now. So, all right. So that is your cards for today. Simple, easy. You can mass produce these because they are so simple. And again, you have where you could either use the designer series paper or you can use the buffalo check pattern. Let's look at this one because this one's prettier. So you have those two options for your background on that. And obviously if you use the paper, it makes it makes the process of putting it all together quicker. So if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you didn't get the project sheet or if you can't open it and I can resend it to you. And I think that's it. Don't forget, November, we will do the Stamping Chicks workshop and the Dossie class. So this class, we will do it on the same day, which will be the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And then we will do a class in December, but I'll let you know the date a little bit in the next like week or so for when that'll be, so everybody can plan for that too. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.